everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Getting Down to Business. I'm Ashley Curtis, Assistant Program Director for the Bishop Center for Ethical Leadership.
And I'm Jill Brown, Academic and Career Advisor with the Moon College of Business. And just excited because today is podcast day. Doesn't matter. This is going to be a great day. We're excited. We have Raymond James on the set, and I'm going to let Megan take it away and give our audience a pitch about who she is and for our students to get to know you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having us. We're excited to be here. I'm excited to be here today. My name is Megan Beekler. I am a talent advisor on our campus recruiting team at Raymond James, and I focus on all of our undergraduate early careers program hiring. So I'm aligned to specifically University of South Florida. I've been able to meet a lot of great students this past fall and looking forward to continuing meeting more in the coming semesters.
Awesome. Yeah, Megan is going to be your go-to campus. So remember this face.
And you've been on campus. I mean, that's been awesome. We've been seeing you. So
Yes.
Students have a lot of opportunities, and this is just another way. So
Yes, absolutely.
Megan, so again, thank you for being here. Before we get down to business, we typically ask our guests just a quick question for our guests to better know you, or our audience to get to better know you. So a question that we have for you is, if you had the option, one wish today or 10 years from now, 3 wishes, which would you choose?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. 10 years from now, 3 wishes?
Yes.
I think I would go with that one. I feel like that's a lot of pressure to just
I know, it's
select one right now.
immediate gratification or wait.
Exactly.
And even more.
I think I'd take the 10-year one. Absolutely. Good things come with time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you playing. And now we're going to get down to business. And again, as I mentioned right at the beginning, students just really want to know about Raymond James. What's the best way to, break in and things like that. If you could just start us off with, what does your internship program look like and the types of opportunities students could expect?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Raymond James internship program, it runs over the summer. It's a summer internship. It's typically about 9 to 10 weeks long. This upcoming summer, it's running end of May to early August. And really, we're focused on giving students that hands-on experience, real-world experience of what exactly they could expect as a full-time associate with us. So it gives them they can walk out with a good sense of, feeling confident and that they can do the job and making sure that it's a good fit for them as much as it's a good fit for us as well, right? So that's really what the internship program is about. We offer different internships in all of our different business unit areas, whether that's IT, investment banking, private wealth management. We offer lots of different opportunities depending on the interest. It is aligned to those who are about a year away from graduation, so typically juniors that are seeking those opportunities. So that's really what our summer internship looks like. But we do offer some sophomore level programs as well to help students, just get some more exposure to the firm, learn about our recruiting timeline and efforts as well, which I'm happy to dive into more a little bit later on too.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the consensus of the internship program and what its structure looks like.
Wonderful. Thanks. Can you share with us, as students are considering interning with Raymond James, what an application process looks like kind of from start to finish?
Yeah, absolutely. So we typically recruit for most of our positions in the fall timeframe. So those positions are up and posted. They're available for students to go ahead and submit their application to. So I mentioned earlier, I've been on campus quite a bit this past semester already. And I would say early September, October, we're really on campus getting engaged with students, sharing about our opportunities. They will then submit an application through our online career portal or our online career website. They can also find our internship postings online through Handshake. So they'll submit the application. Typically, they have a pre-recorded video interview, which I know sounds a bit scary, but I promise it's not too terrible. A few short questions that they'll answer through our pre-recorded system, and then meet with our hiring manager team or those that would be interviewing them from the business for a short interview of about 30 minutes or so, back to back with a couple of other professionals.
Awesome. And I just want to reiterate this for our students who are listening. You mentioned that you were at our career fairs earlier on in fall semester. And I think whether it was a conversation you and I had or a conversation with a group of our students, one of the things that you've said that's really stuck with me is how important it is for students to actually attend those events. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to attend and meet recruiting folks at Raymond James. And so having, a face be more than just an application, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I think it's so important that students go to those events so
Right.
that, when you see Kelsey on a application, it's not just Kelsey, you now have a face to go with the name.
Right, exactly. Like having those interactions up front and us knowing who you are before you even apply is so great. And it also allows them to build those opportunities to connect with other business associates and get someone internally on your side before you even applied, right? I think that growing your network is so important and, super valuable for students to go ahead and commit their time to doing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think about my next question. I was thinking about the video interview and how that could intimidate some students. And I wanted to just mention that we obviously do prep in our office in the Career Center to help students kind of prepare for something like that. Not just the video answering some questions, but also the full interview when you're going to take the next step. So students, keep that in mind. Don't be scared about that. Come see us. Let us help you prepare in that sense. You mentioned, so sophomores have an opportunity to maybe connect early, but also then juniors more junior to senior level. So they're coming in early.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times students are trying to figure out how to fit this internship into their schedule. And we're curious, like Raymond James philosophy on building internship into a schedule of classes. Like how are they supposed to do it?
Yeah, obviously utilizing the career resources that are available to them and just being thoughtful around the planning time and what exactly are their career goals. I think that that's a lot of questions that we get from students of, like what opportunity might be best for me, but I really like to encourage them to think about, okay, well, what is it that you enjoy doing and where do you see yourself being a fit? But that's also where I think our on-campus events that we host, whether that is with student organizations or we hosted a group of younger USF students in our office earlier in the fall. Those are all great opportunities to start doing some more research, hearing about the firm and really thinking about where do you have the most interest. And then how can your schedule align with that as well, right? I will say our internship is only focused in the summertime. But that being said, we do offer different seasonal associate opportunities as well that could be considered for students. The caveat and the difference between there is that the summer internship really is a pipeline for our full-time opportunities. So upon successful completion of the internship, we do intend to then convert our interns into full-time associates upon graduation. And so I think that that's also just kind of the caveat that I like to highlight for those, but we do offer some other seasonal options if that fits better in with student schedules and they're looking for that a similar experience.
But that's important to know. I mean, that's the win-win everyone's kind of looking at. Raymond James is finding great talent and a student has exposure, and then it's not a scary, what am I going to do after graduation?
Right. So, exactly. Yeah.
It's really for sharing that.
Setting everyone up for success with that.
Yeah.
As we think a little bit more about the internship structure and program, can you tell us about any training opportunities or professional development opportunities that exist within the internship program?
Yeah. So when our interns start with us, they obviously come in as a cohort, which is great because there's a little bit more of a sense of a community when they're joining. Nice. It's not as scary for them to go into their internship by themselves. So that first week is really going to be structured on onboarding them together, going through that onboarding process, having those introduction sessions and really getting trained into the organization. So they have those opportunities. And then throughout the summer, of course, we offer different social events, networking events for them to get connected to not only other interns, but other business associates all throughout Raymond James, in addition to some leadership presentations and things like that. So there's really good opportunities for students to hone in on excelling in certain skill sets, advancing those skill sets and really, focusing on their areas of interest that they want to continue to advance those skills in.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I'm curious, and for students to kind of hear, would you be able to give us kind of like a typical day in the life, what an intern might expect? I know the various departments can make that, but.
Yeah. I mean, it will definitely vary depending on the department. Absolutely. So it's tough to say specifically, this is what all of our interns can expect. I would say, regardless, one thing I want to highlight is the fact that there are a lot of people coming into our office here in St. Pete. So I think that there's some really great office camaraderie that has been nice to see and like a good change. So I think that that's a good sense. So coming into the office probably around, 8:30 or so in the morning, connecting with your team, seeing what your priorities are for the day. Some examples of maybe projects that our past interns have worked on, I guess, just to give some of our examples is they could be investigating, real-time security threats. They could be interviewing some of our financial advisors and getting their best practices on, how do you build those relationships with clients and focus on building that book of business. So there's lots of different things that they might be working on throughout the day, but those are, a couple of examples that our past interns have worked on in terms of projects. And then really just connecting with their teams and asking, how else can I be of use? How can I be an asset to the team? And how can I continue to contribute and grow my own wealth of knowledge while you're there during that 9 to 10 week program.
Okay. Because a lot of times too, they're anxious about their own knowledge base coming in and expectations on Raymond James' side. So I'm not sure. I am still learning and growing in my accounting or finance or cybersecurity field. So they're going to have that on the job training, on the internship training, and those opportunities, correct?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. They'll be working hands-on, whether it's a formalized training with, our recruiting team in their onboarding session, or whether it's, locally on their teams that they're actually working with within their business unit. It's very focused on hands-on training and giving those interns the chance to learn and develop those skill sets.
And then a lot is going to fall on the student. Take the initiative and prove yourself, right? Let's learn, let's grow. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. All right.
Megan, so share with us, how do you think Raymond James internship differs from other internship programs? Really, what sets it apart?
Yeah, well, we're super excited to share that we participated in the Vault internship ranking survey just recently, and we actually came back as a top 10 financial services industry internship, and then our IT specific internship also ranked in the top 10 from Vault. So I think that our interns from this past summer really enjoyed their experience, and I think that Raymond James is also very invested in enhancing those internship experience for our students and just recognizing the fact that early talent development is so important in order to get good talent into the organization, right? So I would say that's a big differentiator, is just the focus that we have on early talent development and early careers specific to the internship program. I think specifically for our Florida students, how unique is it that you have such a large organization right here in Florida? And just the investment, the fact that we have so many alumni from these local Florida schools and lots of USF alumni who are really interested in giving back to other students who are coming from the same universities, and also just investment in the community locally, right? So I think that in itself is a really unique experience. And just the fact that Raymond James is such an established and well-reputable company, I think that it's one of those names on the resumes that stand out to a lot of people. And so I think that in general just offers a really great experience, and for students to be able to really grow their professional development skill sets in a very short amount of time with us.
Awesome. Thank you.
That leads into the other question, and it may be covered, so you tell me what you think. But students, a lot of times they'll ask, do I have to do an internship? And I mean, some programs, yes, some no, but at the same time, why is an internship so valuable? You've already spoken to the talent development. Is there anything you want to add in that sense? Like, how is it an internship with Raymond James, how will it advance a student's career?
Yeah, I mean, I think aside from the professional skill sets and just overall development that you would see throughout those weeks, I think Raymond James does a really good job of cultivating a really diverse community of thought and perspectives. And I think that alone is just invaluable in the experience that students will gain over a summer of working with other people. It might not just be students from University of South Florida. You might have students coming from all over the nation, and we do see that. So not only will they be able to experience working with students from all different types of universities, but different backgrounds, different perspectives, gaining insight from our leaders, our managers, our other business associates, I think is so valuable to their learning and development as well. And so I think that they do a really good job of cultivating that experience for them during their time.
Yeah. And I appreciate you saying that because I think often students think, if they're applying to a local company, they think that the other candidates are all local too, right? So it's really helpful to know that, I mean, Raymond James, such a popular company, everybody wants to apply. So it's not just the Tampa Bay area. You have people from all over the nation who are applying for these internship positions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Megan, one last question for you. So students who are interested in interning at Raymond James, we've talked a little bit about the opportunities, but how can they actually find the opportunities available?
Yeah, so I mentioned that, of course, our careers page is always a great place to start, especially for any maybe freshmen who are really early to our process that just are trying to get a better understanding of the timeline and the recruiting process and the resources that are available. So it's raymondjames.com/campus where all those resources can be found. Our internship postings for juniors can also be found on our careers page, of course, but then also on Handshake. So I know that's a popular resource that a lot of students are looking for internships on. So those are great places to just begin. As you start to connect with us, you'll start to realize that we push out a lot of marketing to those that join our talent community. So if you meet us at a career fair or an on-campus event, you might be asked to fill out a short form by scanning one of our QR codes. And that's really just a great way for us to stay in touch with you and promote different opportunities that align with your background, your graduation year, your interests, different things like that. That's how we get a lot of our messaging out for other internship postings, sophomore programs, different things like that. So that's a really great resource to stay connected with us as well.
I have to say from the last career event that we did, the job fair on campus, that students came back and they were like, they really asked me a lot of questions. Like they wanted to get to know me. And I was like, yeah, they do. It's all about fit, right? And just like you said, pushing out information that's going to be important to them and their career goals and aspirations. So I appreciate that. I think there was some shock in that it's not as scary and intimidating or this high-low level, right? And anyway, I was curious, even though Ashley said one last question.
It's never one last question.
All right, good. Because I wanted to just ask, for students, what can they do to be a good candidate for Raymond James?
Yeah, I think it's really showing up to these different events, staying connected with us, growing their network, and just preparing overall, utilizing all the resources that are available to them, whether it's utilizing the Career Center and making sure that your resume is looked at once, twice, 3 times before you're submitting an application. I would just say staying connected with the recruiters or the business associates that you're meeting at these on-campus events, and really just focusing on how you can utilize those resources to the maximum capacity. I would say that the events really are the number one suggestion that I have for all of our students. I think that USF specifically is so lucky in the fact that we have a really large on-campus presence here. We're right down the street. So it's really easy for us to come and get in front of students. And some of the universities don't have that opportunity, right? We're very focused in our approach with the schools that we're aligned to. So I think that utilizing us as a resource, we're here to help you. We're here to get you aligned to the opportunity that's best fit for you, your background, your experience. And not that you need to have a ton of experience, that being said, but we want to hear what exactly your interests are and how we can see you as potentially being a fit here at Raymond James.
And when you mention experience and interests, I have to key in on the resume itself, because a lot of times we're talking to them about what needs to be on there. You may not have a lot of experience, but what else can they do, right? So there are some things that you're going to be looking for on that resume. Do you want to?
Yeah, I think with that, I get that question a lot from students. I think I always just go back to the fact that we're not expecting them to have a plethora of professional experience at this point. You're getting the internship to get the experience, right? So I think really honing in on any type of community involvement that you have or any leadership activities with on-campus organizations. If you have any type of school projects that you feel like you took a leadership role in and stepping up as a team member, I think those are really important things to highlight on a resume or in an interview process. That doesn't have to, necessarily correlate with a professional office type of experience. And I think that students sometimes sell themselves short in that perspective of not capitalizing on those soft skills that they have. So I would just say, don't overlook those soft skill sets that that we're looking for, because at this point in your career, we're really just focused on finding those who have a motivation to learn, that are really willing to work as a part of a team and can work well with other people. And I think that's really the biggest factor as we're, sifting through all of these different candidates that are applying to our opportunities.
I think that helps.
Yeah. Thank you. Anything else you want to share with our viewers before?
I think, like I said, I am obviously on campus quite a bit. So if anyone who does have questions or wants to get connected, I am happy to stay connected with students who might be interested in learning more about our different opportunities. So please feel free to leverage myself or other team members, and we're happy to get you aligned to the opportunities that would best suit you.
And we will see you on campus soon.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Getting Down to Business with Raymond James.
Thank you.